7 steps to forgive anyone, anything, whether they have apologized for it or not. And before I give you the steps, let me just tell you why you can forgive them even if they haven't apologized for it. It's because forgiveness is not between me and them. That's going to be reconciliation. That's something completely different we can talk about later. Forgiveness is between me and God. That's between me and God, and that is critical. So here are the 7 things you need to do to be able to forgive them. First is don't be the victim. Don't tell your story as the victim. Don't think of your story as though you are the victim. The second one is really assess what happened. Was it something small or was it something big? And you need to deal with those very differently, but you have to deal with the small things too. You can just push them under the rug. The next thing is give value to your offender. They are not what they did. So they lied to me. They are not a liar all the time. They messed up once and lied to me. And I like to think of this in the reverse. I don't want to be known by the things that I do mistakenly. Like, I cannot cook pasta to save my life. I ruin it every time, but I am not a bad cook just because I can't cook that one thing. Okay, so value your offender. The next thing is to pray for your offender. And, sometimes this is like talking through the thing like, God, he did this and it hurt and I'm so mad about it, but you made him. And so I'm praying for him. And it starts out in that angry place, but it's not to stay there, right? It's going to eventually morph and change into, God, he did that because he's struggling here. Please help him with this struggle. And the more we're praying for our offender, the more intentionally we're going to be able to work through to forgiveness. Okay, the next thing is to own our part. Sometimes this does not apply. Sometimes I had nothing to do with it. There's no part that I have in it. But most of the time, I probably had something involved in the situation. If it is in a relationship with a friend, I may have set things up in a bad way. They may be upset about something else that I've completely forgot about. And so we just need to have an open conversation about it. Especially in marriage, okay? A lot of times I get mad that my husband is withdrawn and he's not connecting with me. But do you know what? When we get to the root of that, he's withdrawn because I can be a little too critical, a little too harsh when he does engage me in conversation. And I'm kind of competitive. I want to win if we're having a conversation. And so make sure we're owning our part of it. The next thing is just to release the debt, to say, you know what? I am going to give this to God. Whether or not the other person ever admits it, apologizes for it, or fixes it, I'm going to let God be the one who handles revenge because he says he's great at it. He's the Ancient of Days. He's going to handle all judgment at all times. He's so much better at it than me. I'm just going to release it to him. The last thing, the 7th way to take care of working through forgiveness is to check your heart. Go back to that piece of, am I saying things like always, never, or should? That tells me I haven't forgiven and I need to go back through the process.